It would be a dream come true if you could make money from your art. But since you don't, you're stuck working a job to pay all the bills, or maybe 2 jobs, and then you don't have time left over to create the art. Thus, it is a vicious cycle. If you just had no money concerns whatsoever, you would be making fabulous art all the time, and then that in turn would be making you more money. But you haven't given up on the dream completely. You still have a glimmer of hopeful desire, and that hope can take you far. I'm Anna. I'm an artist. I paint and do resin out of my home studio. I'm also a wife, and I'm a mom to 6 kids aged 10 and under. So I do this in my spare time. I sell my art online and at craft fairs and art shows, and I founded the Fellowship of Catholic Artists. I have a passion for helping other artists to see that their creativity is part of who God made them. It's part of the gifts and talents and desires that He's given them and intend them to use. And so I love encouraging other artists to become more of who God made them to be, to make more art, to share their art, and to continue to follow their creative dreams along with all of the other roles and responsibilities that they have. 3 reasons that artists are starving. You've heard the phrase, starving artist. I wonder where that came from. So the problem is, as you know, many artists struggle to make a living with their art. Many artists have to give it up completely and work a normal, practical job to pay the bills. Only a few famous celebrity artists seem to make it big, and the rest of us are just left to struggle or give it up. Here are 3 big reasons why artists are starving and what you can do about it. Number 1, artists are not always business people as well. So you might be making the most fabulous art in the world, but you may not know how to market yourself. You may not know how to sell. You may not know how to keep the books, run a business, open a website, or do any of that stuff. You're good at making art. That's awesome. You don't have to do everything on your own. Once you get into like the business side of selling your art, sometimes that can really take away from the creating part. This is a mistake that I have fallen into. I've gotten really excited about creating the art, and then I get excited about selling it. And once I delve into that, I get so overwhelmed and swamped with all of the ins and outs of business and marketing and sales that I lose time to actually make the art. A couple ways that you can approach this is 1, you can start to learn marketing, business, and try to keep this separate from your creative time. So maybe you have 1 day in the week that you spend in your studio making. Maybe you have another day in the week that you work on your website or learn online SEO. Another fabulous way that you can take care of this problem is to outsource. There are so many amazing freelance web people, salespeople, social media managers, online services, so that you don't have to learn all those things. You can truly just keep making the art and have somebody else take care of the management, the business, the sales, the bookkeeping, and all that stuff. Granted, there might be some expense in involving other persons or services to help you out, but when you try to do everything yourself, it's really hard not to burn out because your time and energy are limited. If you're making amazing art, but it's just sitting in like a corner of your storeroom in your basement, it's time to learn how to put that out there, put prices on it, get people looking at it, get eyes on it, or it's time to ask somebody else to take care of that for you so you can keep making art, making money, and keep the ball rolling. Reason number 2, your art stays in your head. This is a big trap for me. I don't know if it is for many of you, but I think it's a creative people problem. We have so many ideas up here. We have so many inspirations. Sometimes it's overwhelming to even pick one and work on it. Do you ever have this problem where your art just stays in your head? And you are loving just dreaming about all the pieces that you could create. They're going to be so awesome. But now comes the moment where you actually have to get off your butt and make it happen. And with limited time and energy and a jumble of things that you don't necessarily know what to focus on, it can be hard to take action. So you want to turn the blank canvas into something that you can have out of your head incarnate. You got to get your vision out. The more you do it, the faster you become at it, and you can become a prolific artist. This challenge is really getting over artist procrastination. I think to combat this challenge is just to take action. And you're gonna have to make decisions. You're gonna have to pick out of the 10,000 ideas you wish you could do, and you're gonna have to pick one. You're gonna have to take action on it and be decisive and have a little willpower. Make yourself do it. Even when you don't feel like it, make yourself finish that piece that you started. Get your creative inspirations from here, get them out, make them incarnate. The third reason artists are starving is that people don't value art. Sure, some people do. You've got those amazing art collectors that come back for piece after piece of your work, even though it's expensive. You've got the art appreciators who love going to the theater, going to the opera, going to the art gallery. A lot of times these are people with more wealth and more leisure time. A lot of times the middle class rat race culture doesn't allow for people to be able to relax and appreciate art. I'm just describing in general terms, I'm not describing everyone. By and large, a lot of our society is focused on efficiency, right? Practicality, utilitarianism, and to many of these people, art is a useless thing. They don't value it. It's not something that helps them mow their lawn. It's not something they can check off the to-do list. It's something that seems like an extra thing, like an extravagant thing. And for many people caught up in the practical concerns of life, art can seem like an unaffordable luxury. Therefore, there are not enough people supporting artists for the artists to be able to support themselves. What can we do about this? There's a couple things. For one, there are people out there who will appreciate and support your art. We just have to figure out how to connect you with those people. Secondly, take a stand as an artist. Unapologetically introduce and describe yourself as an artist. Do your work. Don't make it some little 5-minute hobby that you do once every other month while you're working a real 9-to-5 job and doing everything that normal people are supposed to do. Creating is a big part of what we're supposed to do. Make it a part of who you are. Make it a part of your identity. Be unapologetic about it. Do it well, do a good job, and assign it importance in your life. I think the more of us that are following our callings to be an artist, to create art, even if we're not a professional, even if it is not the main thing that we do for income, if we are allowing ourselves to be creative anyway, we're going to inspire those other creative people who feel like they don't have enough time or energy or leisure to be able to do art as well. And you guys know, if you've seen any of my videos, I believe so strongly that beauty is essential to everyone's soul. Beauty is to the soul what bread is to the body. Our spirit dies without beauty, truth, and goodness. So even though people don't perceive, by and large, that they need art, our society, our whole world desperately needs art. We need more than just the physical, mundane, practical, efficient, utilitarian aspects of life. And even though art may seem less important or useful to some people, in a sense, they really need it more than they realize. Help them realize that they need it by what you value, how you live, how you spend your time. And I believe each of us will have an effect on those whose lives we touch. So whether art is totally on the back burner for you, or you're trying to make art and you're struggling to make ends meet, I know you still have a dream of making money doing what you love and using the gifts and talents God has given you. Let's see how we can take another step toward that dream today. Here are 2 videos to get you started. Pick whichever one meets your current needs, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, keep creating. God bless.